Welcome to the USA BMX pre-show. We're here at Stop 5 of the USA BMX Pro Series, and I'm here with Donnie Robinson. Donnie, what's up, my man?
Hi, Tyler. Great weekend, I think. Just the first of many in a row of races coming up, right?
Yeah, literally racing. Sorry about fumbling that intro. I literally just came off the track. I'm racing Friday night. We're here.
Oh my goodness, you're racing tonight.
Yeah, so I literally just jumped off a lap, straight over here into this seat to take care of this pre-show for you guys.
Oh, okay, and you broke your shoe because something happened in your moto.
I got a little wild out there in my moto. I was running with Rusty. We were battling back and forth. He got sideways. I got more sideways.
Got it.
I might have broken the shoe.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little bit flustered, you guys, but we're here. The pre-show's going on. I got my man, Donnie Robinson.
And I'm not flustered. I'm happy. Happy as all get out.
That's why I have my jersey on. I got my jersey, my pants on. We're in race mode right now. We're just kind of taking a break.
Okay.
Then it's take one hat off, put the helmet on, and get out on the track and go.
You're a man of many hats this weekend.
That is what they say, yes.
Okay.
Team
Well, that's what I said. I don't
racer,
know if other people are saying that.
Pre-shower, you name it.
You got it all.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah.
So what's been new, Don?
What's been new with me? Doing a little bit of commentating on the UCI BMX World Cup circuit. So I'm still traveling with the schedule, which again is great. I can't complain about that, especially after having some time off last year with some injuries. I love being busy and being out doing a bunch of things, and now racing this weekend. One thing that I got going on, Pedals to Medals.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. That's big news.
I don't know about big news, but it's something that, fellow 2008 Olympic medalist.
Tell us all about it. I want to know.
Mike Day and I are starting what we're going to call basically a virtual clinic.
Okay.
Of sorts. It's basically a virtual coaching platform for BMX, and Mike and I have created this over the past couple months. Now, initially, right now, we just have a site up where you can, enter your email address. You can get weekly tips from us. We're going to call it Winning Wednesdays.
That's what I was going to say. There's a little hashtag Winning Wednesday
Yeah.
that I've been seeing online.
Winning Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, we're going to throw a tip into your inbox. And so that's just basically for right now while we start creating the content. And
can we get a little preview? What was the Winning Wednesday tip this week?
The Winning Wednesday tip, so in the initial, when you signed up for the email list, I told you a little bit about visualization and how that can help in your racing and your practicing, and just it helps you progress on a daily basis. Mike Day threw out the first Winning Wednesday just a couple days ago, and he spoke about what did he speak about? Writing your goals and stuff down in a notebook.
Kind of go with the same, because you're talking about visualization. Mike's talking about having his goals and how important it is to see those goals and make them a reality. So
exactly
good stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of along the same lines, and again, like just something we're throwing out to everyone to benefit, like right now. Something that you can incorporate to your program right now, and once we start building the site and getting all our riding videos and everything going, it's going to be more professional. But right now, pedalstomedals.com, you can just enter your email, and we're all about creating some sort of BMX community, so a support system for everybody, because as you know, we aren't a success by ourselves. It's because of other people, and we kind of want to be that to all the future kids coming up, and even the older riders that have their own specific goals in racing, and so we just want to kind of be there, and we're trying something new, so we'll see what happens.
We've really seen this evolution of the sport of BMX. When we first turned pro, we were some of the first generation of athletes who trained, or I guess you can call us athletes back then. We were learning what it was like to be an athlete, and now it's gotten to the point where literally everybody is kind of wanting that coach, wanting to take it to the next level. So who better can you get from your first ever Olympic silver and bronze medalist, Donnie Robinson and Mike Day? It seems like a no-brainer.
Hey, again, we're just riders like everybody else, and we've just happened to succeed somewhat, but it's because of other people, and again,
but it's because of that success that you're able to pass it on.
Exactly, and we're very lucky and blessed to be able to do that, and so should people want to join the ride with us, that's all the better.
That's awesome. That sounds great. I think I'm gonna have to go sign up, check it out. I could always use some tips from Don and Mike.
Hey, I want to read my own tips.
We can trade some.
Exactly.
We can see what we can do. So other than that, you just got back from Papendal. That place seemed like an absolute madhouse. I was at home watching it online. You were there in the booth. Give us just a quick overview of what that thing was all about, man. That looked horrendous out there trying to race in those conditions. I couldn't imagine.
Wow. I went out there, and again, I was a part of the GoPro track PV, so I had to actually, still ride the track during practice, and it was, I was lucky because I caught, my riding time before the rain came. Of course, the wind was still there, but the rain hadn't shown up yet.
Papendal's known for that wind too. It's every year.
The Papendal, it's going to be windy. Same thing this year. Maybe a little bit, more this year. But again, we knew what to expect. But when the rain came, again, the track is as gnarly as they come. As we know. And again, you know, to race on that style of track, let alone by yourself,
yeah.
you know, and then, you know, with 7 other riders is unbelievable. But throw in the rain, I totally thought that they were going to cancel the event because, you know, coming down that hill was just, you know.
That's my biggest thing is Europe knows how to build their tracks so you can ride in the wet.
Yeah.
But a supercross ramp, wet, I mean, I can't even fathom what it would have been like riding it.
No, absolutely.
And how scary it would have been.
And I was up with Jelle van Gorkum, the Dutch superstar, doing our GoPro, you know, lap, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna leave this up to you because I don't ride this stuff in the rain. And I don't know if you guys do, so I'm gonna go off of you. And he was like, well, we're not gonna ride it right now. I don't think it's safe. So I was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna go after your lead. But again, like to see these guys step up and ride the track at the level that they did. Like, it was almost as if it wasn't raining at all. And I'm super glad that everybody did walk away safe, you know, for the most part.
For the most part.
Because, again, like, I'm not saying the riders weren't forced to ride, but nobody stepped up and said, we're not riding.
So if that doesn't happen, you got to get on the gate.
Exactly.
If one person gets on, you all got to get on. Somebody's going to win.
Exactly. So if all the riders aren't collectively standing together and saying we're not going to ride, well, then the show's going to go on.
Yeah.
And so for that, and all the riders, you know, having stepped up and because it was what it was, and to come away safe and to still put on a good show, like, that was awesome. Now, of course, the precedence has been set. For the most part, we're always going to race.
You're never
going to
race now.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
you're never going to not race. That's what I meant.
Well,
so you're
exactly.
always going to have to race.
Unless, you know, the track doesn't hold up like those Euro tracks in the dirt that they have there. But, again, to see it in person, my jaw was open because I was like, oh, my gosh, these guys are actually going full speed around this track and making it happen.
So let's talk about that full speed. Let's talk about our winner. Not only is he USA BMX #1 pro, who he's obviously been doing a good job here in the States, hasn't raced Supercross in a while, jumped straight in and just throttle pinned. I mean, that was the thing. I think that Sam it looked like he just had another gear come main time. He kind of went up and down throughout the day. Won some motos, was in the back in some semi, you know, up and down. But come main event, I mean, it was definitely one of the more exciting Supercross races to watch.
I agree.
It wasn't single file like we thought it would be on that track in those conditions.
No, I agree. And all day I noticed Sam like coming from behind. Whether like he wasn't hole shotting as much as normal.
Yeah.
Again, he was kind of up and down, but Sam, like, he's the full package, so you could see he was dangerous from the front or from the back. And
it's rain, dry, big hill, small hill, hole shotting or coming from behind. He literally, like you said, is the whole package right now, and it made for an awesome race.
Well, exactly, and that's how mentally tough that kid is. I mean, he knows that he's got it regardless of the situation, and I was just waiting for it to happen. I mean, you know, anybody that was going to hold him off, Twan Van Gent was certainly going to be the guy. And when Sam basically blew right by him.
That's what I was impressed, to see Sam beat Twan on his home track in Euro conditions.
Yeah.
Because those guys shine in that, because they do race in that. So to see him pull through that, my jaw was dropped at home. I was cheering pretty loud. I thought it was an awesome race.
Yeah, no, and I know that Twan did suffer a little bit of an injury in a crash in Manchester and stuff like that, and I don't know exactly how much that affected him. It didn't seem like that it did at all. I mean, over the course of the weekend, I was like, well, this kid, you know, isn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
So he definitely stepped up, whether or not he was hurting or not. And so I can't imagine he was bummed, you know, to kind of give up the win. I mean, obviously you are, but
especially your home track.
Well, but
to get on the podium is good.
But to still place second in those conditions, and again, with him having an injury in the rearview mirror, still can't be that bad.
Yeah, and then just a quick recap, you had Liam on the podium as well. One last one podium here. Anthony Dean goes through and makes both mains. He's sitting in a good second overall now. Kid's killing it. He's on fire. Barry jumping in the main event of the World Cup, so that was obviously good for Barry. Who else you had? You had Joris, who was looking good all day, coming from behind a couple times.
Exactly, Connor
was in the main event again, so I know we're missing a couple guys in there, but I mean, just awesome show for those riders. So,
yeah,
speaking of another race we had, we'll jump back to the USA BMX Pro Series. Well, a few of them are away preparing for some of those bigger races. We had Atlanta, Georgia going on, and completely different track than what you saw in Papendal, a little bit flatter. That one was built for speed, and I think that one just had free agent written all over it. You had old Strami and Herm just putting it to everybody all weekend long.
Absolutely. And that track, when I showed up, it was amazing. I mean, soil tack, that Georgia clay. I showed up, I looked at it, I said, wow, this is a good track. It was built quite well.
Yeah.
Especially the rhythm section, third straightaway was kind of fun.
Had some different lines. You could triple out of it.
Very mellow. It was an awesome track.
Built for speed.
Yeah, the first straightaway was definitely long, and of course those guys with that horsepower and that top-end speed, David Herman, Mara Strombergs, definitely killed it all weekend.
I mean, David was even on another level because he hole-shotted both mains. if it wasn't for his mistake on Sunday, I think he would have taken it all the way as well on Sunday.
I believe so too. And David, this is kind of the part of the season that Herm starts to shine.
Yep.
And so it's no surprise he did what he did. Super pumped for him because, again, like, wins aren't all the time for that kid, but he's super humble, and so when it happens for him, it's good to see. And
I'm going to put a little plug in there. He has been training out at Chula Vista BMX the last about month or two, so maybe training out there might have had something to do with it. You know, I don't know, but maybe.
Well,
we'll throw it out there.
What you would think. I mean, Chula Vista is the home of every single top AA dang near. So
pretty much. So jumping in, it's like jumping in semis every Tuesday night. You got to bring the heat.
Well, so to be, I mean, just for the riders out there, I mean, that's truth. I mean,
it definitely does.
In the pudding. I mean, you can train at home and you can be strong and everything, but if you're not racing all the time, if you're not getting on the gate with those faster guys, then you have nothing to judge yourself against. I mean, racing is completely different than training. So I'm sure David getting on the gate with all the guys, you know, for a few weeks, getting in that zone, I mean, had to have helped him out.
Now let's switch gears a little bit, because you had Georgia, who was flat and powerful, and now we're here in Albuquerque, and I think I'm only manualing 1 or 2 jumps here. I'm taking upstairs everything.
Because we're short.
Yeah, it is because we're short, but the jumps are deep, the track's technical, it's got some pretty big lips on it. Not something we usually see. I mean, the jumps aren't always the jumps aren't the biggest, but they're definitely pretty peaky out here, and a bit more of a technical track than I would say the normal USA BMX track across the country.
I think so. It kind of reminds me of DeSoto. It's covered. Yeah. It's a smaller arena. And DeSoto over the past few years has kind of stepped its game up, trying to make that smaller arena into a more jumping type track, more technical type track. And it kind of works sometimes, you know, better in practice than in racing conditions. But it reminds me of this track, which has done the same thing.
And this facility's awesome.
Yes, exactly. Covered, you can't beat that. But again, the track is technical. They built it big, steep, and to where you can't, you know, be rolling these jumps.
No.
I mean, especially for the amateurs that you're looking out there, they're having a tough time. And again, like, it's good because that pushes them, that helps them progress. I mean, they can't be on the same track week in and week out. It's good to have this, but it doesn't take away the fact that it's hard out there to practice on, let alone race on. But again, it's going to be the person that makes the least amount of mistakes, I believe, that's going to come out on top.
I agree. Well, that's been a good little recap of the last couple weeks, and we're going to cut to our first commercial break, and we'll have our first interviewee up next.
USA BMX is the world's largest sanctioning body for the sport of bicycle motocross racing. Every week, riders from age 2 to as old as 60 are racing BMX at a local track. With skill levels including novice, intermediate, expert, and even pro, there is an opportunity for everyone to compete. With over 400 tracks in North America, you are guaranteed to find a track in your area. All it takes is a bicycle and helmet to get started. BMX is the only action sport in the Olympic Games. For more information and to find a track near you, visit usabmx.com and get started today.
Okay, guys, we're back. We got our first guest of the day. We are here with Sinead Reed. Sinead, what's new?
Not too much, just coming off the back of doing Atlanta, so I'm here now this weekend trying to get on top of the podium, and yeah, really excited to race.
So for those of you who don't know or are familiar with Sinead and what she's done, she's pretty much done everything in the sport. She's been to the Olympics a couple times, world champion, European champion. You've pretty much conquered everything but a USA BMX Pro Series title.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, like, for like since being like about 10 years of age, like when I started racing BMX, like I used to look in the magazines and see all the top pros like Dale Holmes and all them guys racing in the US. And my big goal, I always wanted to move here and try and compete with the top girls like Jamie Lilly at the time, and Kim Ayashi. And then
there you go.
Yeah, just decided now's the time. Like before I get too old and I have to hang up the bike, I thought, yeah, I want to try and push and get my last goal.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's it like making the transition from Europe? I mean, I would say USA girls racing has changed, because a couple years ago, Europe was kind of the place to be for female BMX. You guys had the most competition, the most numbers, but now the USA series is really stepping up with all the girls here, such as yourself. When Caroline comes over, you have Elise, Brooke, everybody's really stepping it up. And the women's class, in my opinion, is the hardest it's ever been, and you girls have progressed so much in the last couple of years. It's really been awesome to watch.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's weird. Like, Europe used to be the place. It kind of goes through waves. Like I said, when Kim Ayashi was here, America was the place, and then it was Europe with me and Ann Caro and Letitia. And then this year, like in America, like I said, like the first few rounds when like Mariana came over, and you have Brooke and you have Felicia and all them girls, like it's just so good to get on the starting gate with the best girls in the world, like week in, week out. So when you come to the big races like the World Cups and the Olympics and the Worlds, it's not foreign, like oh, where these girls at, I kind of know where I'm at against them.
Definitely, definitely. So for everybody who doesn't know where you live in now, how's that transition been from Europe and moving to where you live now? And a little bit of a weather change, I would guess.
Yeah, just slightly. The weather's a little bit different than Manchester, but yeah, I mean, I'm living in San Diego now, and it's like amazing opportunity that I've been given, like with GT and like working with Dale Holmes and keeping that program there with Grant White as well. It's like it's just been an amazing opportunity that's all worked out. And yeah, just training in this amazing weather every day and going to Chula Vista BMX track and having such positive people around me has made a massive impact to my racing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So let's talk about that Dale Holmes connection that you have going on. Your country people. I don't say men or women. I can't. I can't. But yeah, how did you hook up with Dale? What was the choice with that? Like, it kind of came around the same time as you. Hooked up with GT. What
is his role? What does he play? Everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, like some people are a bit confused as to where Dale sits and am I still working with Grant White, and it's pretty simple. Like I decided to come out here and I kind of obviously needed a coach out here and someone who like mentors me, and there was no other better person than Dale. And Grant kind of does like the ingredients of the program. He kind of does like the sprint type stuff and all of the gym stuff, and Dale kind of all of his BMX knowledge and everything that he can offer as a BMX rider. Like I think coupled together with Grant's like ingredients, it all kind of comes together. And
so
it's been
Grant's
really
in the kitchen cooking up, and Dale's the one that's serving you the plate.
Yeah, exactly.
Dale's like this.
Dale's the server.
There you are. Yeah.
And Grant's in there throwing a little salt and pepper in to see what you need to make sure it tastes good.
Yeah, definitely. I think that just combined together with the knowledge that Dale has, and obviously Grant's background of BMX and his expertise in coaching, I think together I've got a really strong team.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So we spoke at a local track in Manchester during the World Cup. We were riding, just having fun. Spoke a little bit about the Supercross series and the USA BMX series. Like this year and leading into next year, leading into the Olympics 2016, how are your goals going to change? What's your focus? What series are you going to focus on?
So this year coming to the US, like I decided to put Supercross on the back hold a little bit. I decided, I'd come back from an injury. Like last year went really well at the World Cups. Like I won the first 2 World Cups, then got injured, and then I was like bummed out, couldn't do anything. So I decided what would make me happy and like get that fire back in my tummy to race again. And it was simple. It was to come to the US, race the ABA series, and get a good pocket of racing, and then that'll lead me into the World Championships. And then next year, like I want to kind of still sprinkle in the ABA stuff. Like being here is definitely where I want to be. And kind of just start focusing on the Olympics, start focusing on them Supercross races again.
Sounds good to me. It's always good to have a plan, right?
Yeah, plan's good.
Did you learn that from Donnie's Winning Wednesday tips? Did you pick that up?
I did,
about the gold
definitely.
plan?
She didn't sign up. I know who signed up.
She didn't sign up?
On a fake email, maybe.
That's it. It was the alias email, so she'd get all the good stuff.
Like Shanae's Ream or something.
Yeah, that was the one.
So what do you think of the track out here this weekend?
Yeah, it's good because like usually you come to an ABA track and it's more mellow, it's a bit more mellow, and this weekend it's good because you come, it's a bit more challenging, and I kind of got on there. It took me a few laps to kind of adjust to the track, but I think it's going to be really, really good racing. Like I think it's good for the girls to be pushed a little bit more, and I think this track will show that, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent, excellent. Donnie, you got anything else?
I think that's it. I mean, we ride by each other. I'm going to ask her anything that I want, so I don't have to throw it all out there right now. But I think that's good. Shanae, thank you for being here. I'm going to throw it to the second commercial break for the first time ever. My first commercial break throw. Shanae, good luck this weekend. Thanks for coming on. See you after this commercial.
Olympic Day is a celebration for youth around the world to observe the Olympic values of fair play, perseverance, respect, and sportsmanship. It is also a day to celebrate the International Olympic Committee's 3 pillars: move, learn, and discover. USA BMX has joined forces with the United States Olympic Committee to offer a free day of BMX racing at participating BMX tracks around the United States. For more information on how to get involved, visit usabmx.com.
I was born in California like my new stats bloodline.
Okay, riders, let's set them up.
But I didn't start racing until my family and I moved back here to Toluca, Mexico when I was 11. I ride and train now all the time. Maybe one day I'll go back to racing the USA. Maybe even win the USA BMX Grand Nationals. My name is Andres Aviles, but they just call me Cheeto.
We are back. It's Friday, USA BMX pre-show. I don't even know what to call this guy. They call him the horse. They call
no, the horn, I think. Are you called the horn?
The horse.
Horse, I hope.
There's horse, but then there's funny variations of that.
Depending, I'm blonde though, so I think I can call you the horn.
I don't know. We got the Kiwi Kurt Picard right here, who I'm gonna go ahead and say is probably the fastest elite man out on the track today, or yesterday, or tomorrow probably. But this guy has been making his appearance in the States.
You've been coming over for the last few years now, right?
Yeah, more and more every year.
Yeah.
Well, I don't miss him not being here because, again, this guy is dangerous. And by dangerous, I mean he can beat anybody on any given day. And so, Kurt, what was your reason for making a little bit of a trip over here right now during the season?
Oh, thanks, Don. Just trying to do a lot more racing this year. Sort of found in the previous years, like not getting enough racing and sort of not helping at the bigger races, at the World Cups and stuff. So yeah, trying to just build up that race time and yeah.
And again, I mean, I know that you can agree when I say this to the parents and riders out there. You can be home training all day long, but if you don't put that that work into the race type situations, like it's a little bit tough, right?
Yeah, exactly. And mentally, you know, to test out what you're learning, you've got to do it on the scene. So yeah.
Racing is the best training. That's it. That's all it comes down to. And not only is racing, it's racing here with this series, what USA BMX has. I mean, it's the hardest series in the world. And for you to come over here and continue to do this, and like you said, you jump in the gate of the World Cup and you just, oh, well, this is just another weekend.
Yeah.
You know, is that kind of the mentality of what you're kind of trying to do and put together there?
Yeah, exactly. I've just found that there's no competition stuff at home. We don't have the scene you guys have here, and so it's good to come out and race the best of the best and get amongst it.
Definitely. So, like Donnie was saying, this dude literally is kind of a real package. Not only is the fastest down the first straightaway, but has some flow and some style too. Tell everybody at home kind of a little bit of what it's like, what you do for your training and your riding. I mean, are you just on the track? Do you ride trails? You obviously put some work in the gym. The dude's huge. But I mean, what are you doing to get so fast and so smooth out there?
Well, like Monday through Sunday, what do you do specifically?
Well,
like time, date? Like,
we know what he's doing on Wednesday. He's winning on Wednesday.
Oh, yes.
But
he's signing up.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday through Sunday.
Got it.
What are you kind of doing out there?
I don't think I'm doing anything different, just sort of taking a different approach, trying to be honest with myself and what my work-ons are, and actually going out on the track and trying to work on that, and yeah.
Not just working what you're good at, just working on what your weaknesses are, so you can improve that. Is that what?
Yeah. Mentally, you know, that helps a lot when you hop on the gate, knowing that you've been honest with yourself and you've worked on your weaknesses.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
So being back home, being around the crowd there, so we have the USA BMX Series, we have the Euro Series, which again is full of all the Europeans and those champions over there. Like, how do you guys view those different types of series? Like, do you hold in higher regard the USA BMX Series, or like, would you rather go and race the Euro rounds? Like, how does it look?
Or even throw the World Cup in there. Which series would you prefer to really ride if you had to pick one?
I think these tracks are a lot more suited to me. I love the World Cup stuff. Obviously, that's what we have to do for the Olympic qualifying. But yeah, the Euro stuff, I've done a little bit of that through, like, as a junior elite. The tracks are always technical, so.
Sometimes too technical.
Yeah, especially
Italy.
Yeah. Few broken bones over there.
Yeah. Hey, I think we all have, right? It's happened to everybody. So, yeah. So, I mean, what do you think of this track here this weekend?
It's good fun, you know. Sort of had a ride last night, and compared to today, it's packed down a lot.
I noticed that too. They must have been working on it. I rode a bit Wednesday, and everything seemed a little bit smoother, so they can put some work on it.
I did not ride Wednesday or yesterday. Today was my first day, so cheater.
Well, in all fairness, I drove Tuesday, I drove Wednesday, I set up the GT rig all day Thursday. So
in all fairness, I flew 14 hours from Holland.
So me and Don are both blown out. Kurt's gonna win this weekend. All right, yeah. So
no excuses. That was just funny.
So what do you like the track? It's pretty fun?
Yeah, definitely. It's a fun track. They're always fun over here, and always enjoyable racing.
All right, cool. So, I mean, anything you'd like to tell the fans that maybe don't know who you are, or, you know, how they can get in contact with you or meet you, or what bike you're on, what your program's doing, anything like that?
I ride for Haro Bikes, a bit more official this year with the US team. Look to do a bit more racing over here. Yeah, I've got an athlete page on Facebook, Kurt Pickard, and an Instagram, same name, Twitter.
Same thing across the board.
Yeah.
Excellent, man, excellent.
I'll be here.
Cool. Well, we're going to cut to our next commercial break. Best of luck to you out here this weekend, and we'll be back with one more interview.
Meet Dan and his dog Bongo. They started their own dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more. So Dan worked with Fast Signs. They created a plan to attract more customers, get more business, wag more tails. Still, Dan wanted more, and Fast Signs provided more. Fast Signs help with digital displays, mobile marketing, merchandising, fleet graphics, and more. Now Dan has more sales, more locations, more of the good life. And more is exactly what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs, more than 530 locations worldwide.
I was born in California like my new stats bloodline.
Okay, Ryder, let's set him up.
But I didn't start racing until my family and I moved back here to Toluca, Mexico when I was 11. I ride and train now all the time. Maybe one day I'll go back to racing the USA. Maybe even win the USA BMX Grand Nationals. My name is Andres Aviles, but they just call me Cheeto.
And we're back with the Herminator, David Herman, free agent,
Rockstar.
I can still hyphen that to Rockstar.
Yeah. Make sure the logos are showing. That's contingency right there.
David Herman right here. We got the 2012 U.S. team member, Olympics. This guy has been around for ages, been kicking our veterans' butts ever since he was a young gun.
ABA amateur, back when we could still call it ABA.
Oh, absolutely. This kid has dang near done it all. And so,
You're making me feel.
Speaking of
and
doing
he's
it all,
good looking and everything.
speaking of doing it all, the kid just came off, I think, your best pro weekend that you've ever had, right? You had a big first and a second, just killing everybody in Atlanta. We talked a little bit about that earlier. How was your view on Atlanta and how things go?
As soon as I showed up to Atlanta, I kind of had an inkling that I might do good there.
Oh, he's cocky. He's cocky.
Yeah. Just your traditional ABA track, but I grew up on USA BMX track, racing my whole career, and it just fit well with me.
Yeah, anytime that David can pedal an entire straightaway, then it's going to fit well with him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we sort of, growing up, with, among the class and the riders, we know when certain riders are going to, prevail on a certain track. And I know this guy loves, like, first jumps that are little doubles and little tabletops. That's like his kit right there. But David, so Sunday or Saturday, you killed the main start to finish. Sunday, you were leading the main all the way to the last turn.
Yeah.
When you had, oh my gosh, the double Olympic champion, Maris Straubigs, your teammate, threading the needle on the inside in the last turn. I saw you try and come over, and it was just a little too late. What was your feeling at that point when you went to the last turn and you were like, okay, Maris passed me?
Coming out of the second turn, I knew, with a lot of people, you have to shut the door all the way. But with Maris, he's a lot like me, where I didn't think he was going to take the line. I halfway shut it off, but and then he came in there hot. He had a lot of momentum around the track, and kind of just tucked in for second and knew I wouldn't pass him.
So basically what he's saying is this guy is not very aggressive on the track. Neither is Maris. Neither was Kyle Bennett, all these guys' teammates. Really.
That's weird. What are the odds?
Yeah, that is odd.
But again, like, that's
but three of the fastest dudes in the game.
Exactly, and some of the best dudes. Again, they're not going to push the issue. They're not going to ride dirty. So again, it was good to see you two good-looking cats. Again, nice guys, racing fair. And again, you couldn't have been that disappointed with giving up, that win because it was your best weekend still.
Yeah.
In a long time, if not ever. And I was definitely pumped to see again such a good guy have a good weekend.
Yeah, I was happy.
So tell everybody what you've been up to. I know you've been, in case you guys are wondering, he's been living out at Chula Vista. He's actually been living with me, so I've been pumped to have the Herm out living with me.
Yeah.
And not only have you been living in San Diego, but then you're going back home to a pretty sweet new track. So tell everybody what you've been up to and where you're headed to.
I moved out to Tyler's house in February, and it's been great. I initially moved out there because I was rehabbing an injury, and I couldn't afford sitting in the snow for another 2 months. I mean, my track didn't open until April, May. So yeah, I just needed to get out there and start riding, and it's been great living there. He's got such a good gym at his house, and I use that the whole time. Living with two other guys, well, we're always swapping people out, but we had Yvonne LaPraz, Anthony Dean, we have another Kiwi in there now. It's just a good training environment, and really it's helped me get to where I am right now as far as this season goes. I feel like I started off this season probably more consistent or faster than I have in previous years. Definitely,
and not only are you going from that, let everybody know what my Brown brother, Deke Brown, in case, like, the internet's been a buzz about that home track that you have now. So let's hype that up a little bit and tell everybody what you got looking forward to when you get home. Yeah, it's awesome. My local track in Dacono, we just got a new rebuild, which was, we did it because we had a USA BMX National coming into town this year. The track is great. I can't be more pumped because, we have paved turns, we have a pro section, and really, if there's one thing I really need to work on, it's doing full laps, and so I'm able to do that now with such a good track. Yeah, it looks like it has everything. You got, like you said, you got a pro section so you can practice your jumping. Good power down the first straightaway. Corners are good. I saw you throwing down some big triple lines through the rhythm the other day. Yep. Putting a little video out for the fans. Looking good. Yeah, so, I mean, I go out there and I'm still the local hero out there, so I gotta act like one. You gotta send it, right? Yeah. There you go. Make the fans happy. Yeah.
All right, so let's go from Atlanta, which was an awesome weekend. Papendal last weekend, Supercross. I'm not.
Wait, I wasn't even gonna go there, Don. Wait, just bring the mood down.
I'm not. Well,
let's go there.
That's just it. I'm not bringing this up. Because I want to bring up bad feelings. But like as a racer, going from your best weekend to one of the toughest that you've had in a while, like just having things just not go your way.
Yeah.
How, as a racer, for the fans, like how do you jump back from that? Like going on this roller coaster ride of greatness to down in the dumps to now back on a track where you're obviously gonna do well on, that you're feeling good at.
He was pinning it in practice, in case you guys are wondering. He was pedaling where nobody else was.
Yeah, I'm not surprised anyway. So your mentality going on that road, like how are you going to change it coming into this weekend?
I kind of thought I was going to set myself up for a little streak. I mean, I like Papendal normally. I did good the last time I raced there, and I was ready to, I kind of needed that breakout race, and I thought that's what Georgia was going to be for me. And then to go to Papendal, man, I was lying to myself the whole time I was there. Like, all right, this isn't going to bother you. But, man, I couldn't lie to myself once I got up on that gate, and you just couldn't flip the switch that day. And really, a lot of it has to do with, me coming back to the States and having 3 weekends of ABA racing in a row. And, this is what I want to do this year is I want to, pursue for an ABA title. And, I don't want to sit out, 3 important weekends. And so I kind of checked out that day. But, hey, I'm glad to be here. The sun's shining.
Amen to that. Yeah. It's nice and warm. It's not raining. It's covered even if things do get a little wild out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're looking forward to watching you race out here. This has always been a great one. I mean, you've always done kind of well out here, and we're looking forward to
Actually, we're not looking forward to watching. We're looking forward to racing with you amongst the same lab.
I'll watch the other semi if we're in different semis or something like that. Cool. I'll watch, but hopefully we're not watching the main events. We're all 3 in there battling it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what about this track? What do you think of this one? I mean, it does have the pro section on it, stuff like that. I mean, how did you feel out there in practice today?
I felt good, and living only 6 hours away, this is a local race to me. I have a ton of fans here, and just racing here when I was younger, I just feel like this is just a place I always do good at. I like the track. It's a little technical, and I like that about it. But everything flows good. One thing I really didn't like about this track in previous years was they put too much soil tack down, and the turns were really slick. But the turns are bowled out this year.
We have no soil tack on now, so you don't have to worry about that.
I mean, at all. Like, look, we don't have any more.
Yeah, you got to give and take a few things, but I'll take a bumpy track over a track that I'm afraid to go fast in the turns in. So, I'm ready to race this weekend. I like the track.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, that sounds good. Well, let's wrap up this last interview, and we're going to cut to our final commercial break.
USA BMX is the world's largest sanctioning body for the sport of bicycle motocross racing. Every week, riders from age 2 to as old as 60 are racing BMX at a local track. With skill levels including novice, intermediate, expert, and even pro, there is an opportunity for everyone to compete. With over 400 tracks in North America, you are guaranteed to find a track in your area. All it takes is a bicycle and helmet to get started. BMX is the only action sport in the Olympic Games. For more information and to find a track near you, visit usabmx.com and get started today.
Meet Dan and his dog Bongo. They started their own dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more, so Dan worked with Fast Signs. They created a plan to attract more customers, get more business, wag more tails. Still, Dan wanted more, and Fast Signs provided more. Fast Signs help with digital displays, mobile marketing, merchandising, fleet graphics, and more. Now Dan has more sales, more locations, more of the good life. And more is exactly what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs, more than 530 locations worldwide.
Olympic Day is a celebration for youth around the world to observe the Olympic values of fair play, perseverance, respect, and sportsmanship. It is also a day to celebrate the International Olympic Committee's 3 pillars: move, learn, and discover. USA BMX has joined forces with the United States Olympic Committee to offer a free day of BMX racing at participating BMX tracks around the United States. For more information on how to get involved, visit usabmx.com.
Okay, guys, we're back for the wrap-up of today's show. Donnie, another great show in the books.
I would think that was the best, like an Emmy award-winning show that we just did.
Yeah, I mean, we had some great guests on here. We met some new faces with Shanae, who maybe not everybody knows. Kurt Picard, who kind of has been here in and out, but I mean, a face I'm sure everybody's going to get to know.
And David Herman, who's just in the shadows, but always steps up to the plate.
He's just a staple of what USA BMX is. He's a young kid who started when he was young, raced this his entire life, made it to the Olympics, and now, like he said, he's going to be chasing the title this year.
Absolutely.
So we got one big thing. Let's talk about this. We have the new Pole magazine that's going to be hitting mailboxes any day now. I haven't even got a chance to look through it yet.
I haven't either, but...
I mean, you got Malik. We had last week's guest from Atlanta, Malik Benlos, on the cover.
The Malik.
Oh, he's looking good. The Jamaican hero out here.
All of the time.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. He's
All
got his
the
S
time.
squared. He's looking good in the Troy Lee, all that kind of stuff. I might have to just flip through this real quick. Oh, definitely good stuff. You know, that's always one thing I look forward to when I get this magazine in the mail, sitting down, whether it be breakfast the next day, kind of flipping through it, reading the articles and stuff like that, and always scope through to see if we get any pictures of ourselves in there, you know?
Absolutely. I still have them from years and years and years ago, and I just recycle them and like, oh, this is new stuff, but this guy doesn't race anymore. But
it's cool to go back to the ones like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
When we were still pro, that long ago. I had somebody ask me if I was racing Vet Pro this weekend.
And did I?
Just for the record.
As did I.
I'm not. I still got at least 4 years before I can turn Vet Pro. So if anybody's wondering, I'm not racing Vet. I'm not racing A Pro. I may run a track and run a team, but I'm AA, just to throw that out there so there's no more confusion.
And if everybody...
and Donnie's in the gate with me, racing AA. He might be commentating.
I did AA...
Pedals to Metals.
AARP. AARP. I signed up for that last week, so I get a bunch of discounts on, like, you know, wheelchairs and my medications and all that stuff. So
let's not need any more wheelchairs, all right?
No.
None of that. All right, guys, we're going to wrap another pre-show up. We have what's next on the list. We got Nashville. I'm actually bummed I'm not going to be there, so you're going to have to find somebody else to fill in for my place.
Well, here's what...
Hopefully they don't... I mean, I'm sure they're going to do great. Hopefully they don't outshine me too much, but
no,
I'm sure they'll do great.
I'm gonna do both seats all day. Like, hey, Donnie, and then I'll be like, just switch seats. And
Can you, like, change shirts? Like, throw on a Jeep so it's like I'm still kind of here?
I could, but that would be... I can't do that.
Okay, okay. Well, Nashville's one of the best tracks of the tour. I mean, long, super fast downhill straightaway. To be honest, I'm bummed I'm going to be missing it, but I will be in Utah ready to go. That's kind of another big track for GT, you know, with Steve Spencer running that track out there. So you going to be there?
I am going to be at both of the events.
Excellent.
I'll go to Nashville, Music City, play the guitar, and then Utah, visit the Mormon temples.
Excellent.
That's what I'm going to just get amongst the locals.
What more can you need?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap this show up today. Good luck to you out there, Donnie, and let's make it happen this weekend. All right, bud?
Right on time.
All right, guys. We'll see you at the next one.